Here are some great quotes on perspective. When you wake up every day, you have two choices. You can either be positive or negative, an optimist or a pessimist. I choose to be an optimist. It's all a matter of perspective. Don't compare your beginnings to someone else's middle or your middle to someone else's end. Don't compare the start of your second quarter of life to someone else's third quarter. If you're wondering what I mean by miracle, it's simple. A miracle is a shift in perspective from fear to love. There are things known and there are things unknown, and in between are the doors of perception. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. You will always define events in a manner which will validate your agreement with reality. Build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs. When you have a positive attitude, it's amazing how upbeat and optimistic your perspective is. Most misunderstandings in the world could be avoided if people would simply take the time to ask, what else could this mean? Make a game of finding something positive in every situation. 95% of your emotions are determined by how you interpret events to yourself. To change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. Be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. One of the most transformational areas of personal growth is upgrading your perspective so you see possibilities instead of limitations. Look at everything as though you are seeing it either for the first or last time. Then your time on earth will be filled with glory. Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her. Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears. A little perspective, like a little humor, goes a long way. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be crazy by those who could not hear the music. Gratitude is one of the strongest and most transformative states of being. It shifts your perspectives from lack to abundance and allows you to focus on the good in your life, which in turn pulls more goodness into your reality. If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. The only thing you sometimes have control over is perspective. You don't have control over your situation, but you have a choice about how you view it. Some people see the glass half full, others see it half empty. I see a glass that's twice as big as it needs to be. Your reality is as you perceive it to be. So it is true that by altering our perception, we can alter our reality. Empathy begins with understanding life from another person's perspective. Nobody has an objective experience of reality. It's all through our own individual prism. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorns have roses. Always focus on the front windshield and not the rear view mirror. The optimist sees the donut, the pessimist sees the hole. Stress is a downward spiral, and you can only overcome it with a positive perspective. What happens is of little significance compared with the stories we tell ourselves about what happens. Events matter little, only stories of events affect us. It is a narrow mind which cannot look at a subject from various points of view. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is not a change of clothes, a change of address, or a change of career, but a change of perception. See yourself in life as it truly is, a miracle. What we see depends mainly on what we look for. If the stars should appear but one night every 1,000 years, how man would marvel and adore. Loving people live in a loving world. Hostile people live in a hostile world. Same world. Often it isn't the mountains ahead that wear you out, it's the little pebble in your shoe. The best things in life aren't things. If you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. Perspective is everything when you are experiencing the challenges of life. The greatest tragedy for any human being is going through their entire lives believing the only perspective that matters is their own. Change can be scary, but you know what's scarier? Allowing fear to stop you from growing, evolving, and progressing. If we don't have a sense of humor, we lack a sense of perspective. I would rather be myself and let people accept me for what I am than be somebody who I am not, just because I want people's approval. Inclusiveness is helpful because everyone brings a different perspective. Although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. The fact that we live at the bottom of a deep gravity well, on the surface of a gas-covered planet going around a nuclear fireball 90 million miles away, and think this to be normal is obviously some indication of how skewed our perspective tends to be. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Remember, despite how open, peaceful, and loving you attempt to be, people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. The right perspective makes the impossible possible. One key to happiness and deeper understanding is experiencing life from a higher perspective through the lens of love and gratitude. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Have a great week.